What's good, everyone? This is Jeremiah here, and today we're going to react to Nintendo's Goes After Cherry event, Why This Is Bad for Their Image by Alterio. Now, Nintendo has been, ever since the Nintendo Switch 2 came out, all they want was money, all they want was our pockets, bro. And this, what I'm looking at right now, it's a new low. So without further ado, let's react to this.
So they went out of their way to target this charity event. And while they're not shutting it down per se, they did just put a big damper on it by forcing the event to have to omit Nintendo games because they didn't get enough time to get Nintendo's permission after receiving their notice.
Of course. This is absolutely on brand for Nintendo because it's consistent with a long history of them chomping down on fan-driven or community projects, even when those very projects bring them free publicity and goodwill and all of that, and they don't actually do any measurable harm to their bottom line. It's not like it's affecting them monetarily.
Nintendo is making money again. The $10 Switch 2 is not free. Yep, you have to pay $10 for the Switch 2 welcome tour. It's a tech demo.
This is the same company that's gone after ROM hacks and fan games that don't require any money. They don't charge people for anything. Music uploads, community tournaments.
They are so heavenly with their music, bro. Like, they are so prevalent with their music. Like, no joke. If you mess with their music, you go straight to prison for like 100 years, basically.
YouTubers using gameplay footage. And I think there was like a documentary or something about like the competitive Super Smash Brothers. Like, I don't know. I have to go back and look. But everything you can probably think of, Nintendo's done it in terms of bullying people and shutting them down. In their mind, absolutely everything that involves their IP, even positive, non-profit.
What are you talking about? Steam refunds games? How is it illegal?
Profit events, because I understand people trying to make money off of your thing. Like, it's not transformative or anything. They're literally just like, hey, let me buy this game and say I made it or copy it brick for brick, pixel for pixel and selling it. I understand that. Trust me. But even with like fair use stuff, and I get it, that stuff is, those laws are kind of different in Japan when it comes to fair use, but the most stupid things, like streaming at non-profit events, they have to be under control of that. It's almost like their corporate philosophy at this point. Like, oh, if we don't control it, it ain't gonna happen. We're not making money on it. You're going out there and you paid a bunch of money for a game that, you know, you probably don't own now. But, and let's say you do have it. You have all these old games and you're playing it and people are watching you in the park for free. And while they're watching you, you're serving them soup. Nope, gotta shut that down. That's illegal. You want a birthday party and a cake that has Mario on it because a kid loves Mario thing, we find out about it. Nope, that's not allowed. And the problem is that when you apply that same rigid policy to a charity speedrunning marathon, like the whole RTA thing, it comes across really freaking petty.
Get your money, not your funny up. Nah, bro. Why you have to type that? Why you have to type that in the chat, though?
And on brand for Nintendo. Like, literally, their greed is now what's on brand for them. It used to be fun and being the underdog and just bright, colorful fun. They're the people who love gamers. Nope. Now greed is synonymous with Nintendo. It's crazy. I feel like it's more synonymous with Nintendo than it even is with Disney. Disney, you could just laugh at them and be like, oh, Disney, you. But Nintendo's like, oh, fucking gross, nasty, these people. Makes me nauseous every time I hear their name.
$10 sounds like you're broke. Get your money up, not your money up. You're missing the point. So Nintendo's like, goddamn, take the vote. It's already robbery. It's an important. The Switch 2 is already 450 smack.
Bro, this guy is killing me. I was so annoyed when I heard the news, but he's just cracking me up. Sorry. Smackaroonies. Oh my god. But no, like, seriously, like, but I don't know what's wrong with Nintendo. The whole thing, the thing that makes this funnier is that it's a freaking charity. It's like they don't get the idea of what a charity. Why would they? Why would they get the idea of what a charity is?
It's Nintendo. It's just Nintendo. Nintendo's gonna do what Nintendo intends to do.
Being altruistic is so beneath them. For those, though, who don't know what a charity means, it's an organization that is set up to help and raise money for those in need. That's the literal definition. And the second definition is the voluntary giving of help. Here, if you want to see it on the screen, there we go. There you go. The voluntary giving of help, typically in the form of money to those in need. And this is why it looks bad when Nintendo shuts down things like charities or like this whole situation that's happening, or not really shut down, but like tries to throw a wrench in it. They shut down things all the time. But in this case, the first thing is that, and maybe they're missing the whole idea behind this, but it's a charity, not a profit. That's the whole point. It ain't some shady gray market operation making ad money off pirated Nintendo games. All the proceeds, as far as I know, are going to Doctors Without Borders. So Nintendo coming up and blocking this harmless charity and this whole event because of, unauthorized use makes Nintendo look like the dickheads that they are and that value bureaucratic control over human lives and goodwill. God forbid. Which I guess isn't a surprise because we've seen that they're super greedy and disgustingly against people. Like, just regular people, the people who made them rich in the first place. Which, like I said, is on brand for a dying company or one that will be in the future. Because if they keep going down this road and doing what they're doing, that's the only place they're going to end up. I promise you.
I see Nintendo's like a Disney 2.0. Like, yeah, I'm gonna say that. I'm actually gonna say this. Nintendo is Disney, but worse.
Mark this on your calendar. The other thing is, unless you're talking about the cult members who love shoving Nintendo spewing muzzle down their esophagus, is that it alienates the core audience, the regular people. The speedrunning community loves Nintendo games. Super Mario 64, Metroid, Zelda, those are all the staples. And RTA's not having the Nintendo games this year ends up being a cultural void for a lot of the people who celebrate Nintendo's games the most. Instead of getting on board with the excitement of the fans and using that publicity for themselves to push their games and also encouraging it, Nintendo's like, nah fam, we're just gonna cut ourselves off. We don't want to be tied to fun. And I'm honestly really perplexed of how this is a good business strategy. Unless someone's trying to tank the face of Nintendo, because that's exactly how this come across. It's like almost like Disney, right? You know how people hate Disney or what it stood for, like what Walt stood for? And I'm not even saying what he stood for. I think they found out that he was like racist or something. I don't even know if that's true, but that's the whispers on the wind. So they're like, okay, this guy existed at a time where he was prejudiced against people. I understand a lot of people were. I'm not saying that's okay, but everybody else that was involved in those Disney movies, because he was tied to it, they're like, nah, we gotta just kill everything Disney. And every move that they've made in the modern era almost feels as though whoever's taken over the whole thing, or the people that have taken over it, they have a vendetta against Walt or something. You can almost hear and see them twiddling their mustaches and whispering, I'll ruin your image if it's the last thing that I do. Weird. It also doesn't shine Nintendo in a good light because they end up reinforcing that narrative that they're the fun police, which is so against what they stood for, considering what their games are and who they are as a company, or who they were. They've already built a reputation for killing community events. I think they did the Smash World Tour in 2022, I believe. Every new instance ends up confirming the stereotype that Nintendo is this bitter and joyless and super overly litigious and incapable of seeing anything past their evil desire to control everything and stamp down on everyone's necks and put their boot up your ass.
So at first glance, it seems like overprotective Nintendo picking on a small charity event. However, the majority of Japanese-speaking users commenting on the matter took a balanced view of the situation, or even sided with Nintendo, with many saying they understood why Nintendo had taken this action now. RTA in Japan started off as a small volunteer-run effort. However, over the past few years, it has grown into a large public event with major sponsors, and the organizers now registered as a general incorporation association with all the bureaucracy and responsibility that brings. The event's growing prominence is likely what made Nintendo sit up and take notice. Some commenters even said RTA in Japan should have been more responsible and proactively taken measures to ensure that they had Nintendo's permission to avoid disruption to speedrun events. Oh my god. I hate this corporate dick sucking. This should be a positive thing.
Like, Nintendo could have easily said, we don't want to, but we grant one-time permission for RTA 2025 to feature our games in support of Doctors Without Borders while we work out future arrangements. And that way they can have the moral high ground and say, we don't like this, but we're being extremely generous. I know, funny word for Nintendo. And I think everybody would have been fine with that. I mean, maybe not fine, because it's like almost every time you hear something concerning Nintendo in the news, it's something negative. Even when they have something positive with their games, people seem as though they're just like putting along into accepting the drab that Nintendo releases. This whole thing doesn't even achieve that much legally. It's not like them doing this is protecting themselves from piracy or unauthorized distribution. All they've done is ensure that their games won't get streamed for free in a context that would make Nintendo look supportive or, you know, community friendly, since they have lost faith with a lot of the community, because why would they want to associate themselves with anything remotely related to charity? Ugh, charity? What's that? We're Nintendo, giving people things for free and helping people? The hell do these people think that we are? We can't have them thinking we're the good guys, can we? No way, sir, her, not in my house. That's just crazy work. Oh, hell no. Can't have that. Like, what in the organized crime? Also, I find it rich that they seem to wait for so long. Like, Nintendo has this habit of waiting until the last possible moment, as much as they can, to swing that old hammer of theirs. They could have told RTA months or even years ago that their new legal entity status meant they need explicit permission to use all and every Nintendo game. Instead, they waited till June, just weeks before the August event, so they could officially say, by the way, you can't use our games without our say-so, and we're probably not going to allow you to anyway.
Positive thing, that this small volunteer-run effort has grown into something that generates real meaningful change and help to charitable organizations. This should be a celebration, not like a, well, you got too big, you should have known, you should have went and sucked on Nintendo's titties over there, should have begged to be able to play those games there, you should have known. You're not allowed to just play games on the big screen and try and raise money for charity. That's illegal. And you know what? If Nintendo wants you to ask permission, fine. Why couldn't they have told you that months in advance so that way they could actually go through this process and have them present at the RTA?
I think that what Penguins was saying, I think that they just want to be monsters. They just want to be monsters. It's Nintendo. They want to shut down everything and anything that seems just positive to people and helps people. I think Nintendo lost the image that they once were. They really are Disney but worse. That's why I said they're Disney but worse
In Japan, as they have been for so many years previously.
And like Charlie said, it might seem like a long time to some people, but for arranging big events like this, that's not that much time. The last minute thing, though, is so fitting for Nintendo because they did the same thing in the past. There's several times, even there was, I told you guys there was this like fan-made game that no money was being raised for it whatsoever. The guy didn't make any money off of it. It's just a passion project he'd been working on. An open world game. That was the first open world game I've seen with Pokemon where the Pokemon themselves can fight real time and you have to use like buttons and stuff to make them do moves in real time, like Mortal Kombat with free roam. I mean, it was really awesome, and it was like polygonal, like these kind of graphics that you're seeing here on the screen. And it was so good. And right as he was about to release it for the community of people who supported Nintendo, he even was very vocal about people supporting Nintendo. Nintendo was like, cease and desist! And don't tell me they didn't know about his project. They've known about it for years. The dude was working on it for like 5 to 7 years by himself. And right when he's about to release it, Nintendo came out with their big, stupid looking asses and told him to cease and desist. It's like, what kind of freaking totalitarian shit is going on over there? The whole tournament thing was canceled right before the championship. There's a bunch of articles on this, but just for it all in one place, it says so here on November 29, 2022, less than 2 weeks before the 2022 Smash World Championships. Smash World Tour organizers announced the abrupt cancellation of both the 2022 championships and the 2023 Smash World Tour, claiming to have been forced to shut down by Super Smash Bros. The publisher Nintendo. As part of their statement, they also accused Alan Bunny, the CEO and owner of Panda, another esports organization, of severe misconduct against the community, including efforts to sabotage the Smash World Tour in favor of the Panda Cup, a competing circuit organized by Panda, which, unlike Smash World Tour, was officially licensed by Nintendo. The announcement caused major controversy in the competitive Super Smash Bros. Community and resulted in near universal condemnation against both Nintendo, which denied some of the accusations and did not address the others, and Panda, which denied all accusations save for one occurrence of misconduct from Bunny. Following further backlash, which saw a wave of resignations from Panda employees, and many top players deciding to boycott the upcoming Panda Cup finale, Panda announced the resignation of Bunny as CEO, but not the owner, and the postponement of the Panda Cup finale. That's what they fucking get. Good. Dumbasses. I don't know what's going on, but you're in league with this whole thing. Good for you. Good job for people standing up. And I feel like that's what people need to do with Nintendo. So yeah, that whole Smash World Tour thing, it was canceled right before the championship. And then think about it, months and months of planning and player travel arrangements. And it's really disgusting. It really is. There have been so many cases of fan projects, like I just mentioned, getting DMCA notices right before major releases or anniversaries, cutting them off when the excitement is at the utmost highest. And Nintendo seems reactively to swoop in when something's already set in motion rather than addressing it early and collaboratively. And I think that's a really cowardly move. Not only that, but it's extremely cruel, which I said as many times as I can is on brand for Nintendo now. And it's not like Nintendo didn't know this stuff existed. Trust me, they knew. Whether intentional or not, which we know damn well it was, because if it's not, then that's actually worse, because that means Nintendo is oblivious to their own environment and everything happening around them, and somebody's not managing the company properly if you don't realize that these things are happening around you with your IPs. But whatever, whether it's intentional or not, waiting up until the extreme end means organizers have already sunk in all their time, their money, resources, etc., stuff that they can't get back. And at that point, it's too late to replace the games and redo the marketing or replan the schedule without taking a really huge hit with the losses. And that level of disruption feels like a dick-swinging move on Nintendo's part. Not that Nintendo has much of one. And honestly, it just shows that Nintendo is a tyrant who likes being in control on every narrative, even those where they shouldn't have that kind of control. Like, you know, if you bought something with your own money, one of their IPs, you shouldn't be allowed to play it with friends and stream it, God forbid. It's also quite cowardly that they do this, because by them doing this last minute, they're trying to avoid the pushback. That's what I'm thinking it is. If they give the people that they're targeting, like, a lot of time, a copious amount of time to announce the restrictions, then all that's going to do is invite press coverage and negotiations and even more community backlash in time for the organizers to kind of rally support. That's probably why they do that. But if they drop the news last minute, or as last minute as they possibly can, that ends up limiting the ability for anyone to fight back and makes it so that compliance is your only choice with Nintendo, or else. It's almost like they treat the community events the way they treat game launches. You need to hold your cards close, make sure nobody knows, then drop the freaking guillotine right at the right moment before it happens. Shock all of them into awe. The difference is, when it's bad news like this, it's not going to generate hype and support for Nintendo. It's going to end up making Nintendo look like what everyone already knows that they are: a bully and a villain. And more people actually uniting against you, Nintendo, and not wanting to support your things. And in a weird turn of events, encouraging people to pirate your games more just to spite you.
The Great Pirate Era.
Seriously, why is this company so weird? Like, have any of you ever noticed that whenever you have someone who founds a company and then they die, or they leave it to someone who's good, and then those people step down, the people who take over that are like these corporate scumbags end up driving the company straight into the ground and tearing apart all the goodwill and the bridges that were built between the community and the company? Like, it never fails. They essentially end up running the company into the ground, straight down into there.
You see this a lot with Disney, and mostly with every single company that just gives to the it's for the people. Like the owner is super great. They give back to the people what the people want and need. They have the great relationship. If they pass away or step down, another person like them steps up and continues that on. When they step down, another person that makes it so corporate that everything goes downhill. It's like everything that goes corporate it becomes crap. It becomes so less of itself. It's like a shell of themselves. That's why people don't like when things go to a corporate level. It's sad. It's just bland. It's modern, and no one likes it. No one likes it, for real.
And these new leaders come in thinking that they're going to streamline all the operations and let's maximize all the shareholder value and modernize everything for the non-existent modern audience. But all they're doing, or all they end up doing, is hollowing out the heart of the brand, what people fell in love with in the first place. All the goodwill, all the trust, all the connection to the people who actually made the company successful in the first place. They just set that on fire, because that doesn't matter, apparently. They don't even realize that. What in the hell? What the fuck is that? Oh, hell no. Nope, I am not playing that. That is, no way.
Mario Kart, the stable game that
Forgive me. Mario Kart, $8. I hope and pray that when Sonic Crossworlds comes out, I pray that that game sweeps Mario Kart World. I pray that that game sweeps Mario Kart World. I want that game to be the new game of this year. Yeah, of this year going on to next year, 2026. That will be the racing game of 2026, and Mario Kart World cease to exist. I'm serious. I want Sonic to be that game. I want Sonic to beat this game. I want Sonic to beat MK World. I'm serious. And looking at the trailers, and like people love the beta test, like the open beta, closed beta. If people love the game and during the beta, oh, that $70 is worth it.
compliments of Nintendo console is $80, and 3 Jack Demos should come with the console. Just like Astro's Playroom came with the PS5, or get this, when Wii Sports came with the Nintendo Wii. Switch 2 Welcome Tour should come with the Switch 2 free of charge.
There has to be a balance, man. You can't have a company that's run purely for the people, because, of course, yeah, you gotta have some business sense, or you're not gonna make enough money to sustain it long term. But on the flip side, if you go all in for, just business, money, and start treating your company or your community like they're just, faceless numbers on a spreadsheet that don't have feelings, or just these things that you'll just beat around the head and beat over the head, and they'll just continue giving you money, you're gonna lose the people that built you up in the first place. These companies forget that when these IPs or franchises become really huge, you can't sustain them unless you continue maintaining the foundation that's propping them up, which is the people. Honestly, come to think of it, I'd argue that being for the people more so than business, like genuinely supporting them and respecting the people, listening to them, the fans, fostering that connection, that's actually a better business move in the long run, because people will stick by you. They'll advocate for you. They'll bring in more customers. Believe it or not, word of mouth is still very much important, especially when people meet each other in real life and they're saying, yeah, all the stuff that they're saying on the articles, that's not true. I played it, come play it, see for yourself. And then people realize and they spread the word. That matters more. Because Pal World didn't have all that marketing and it blew up. But if you're just about squeezing every single cent and nickel and dime and blah, 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 and blood and guts and whatever from your loyal fans and policing every single little thing they do with your product, eventually they're going to leave. They don't like having a noose around their neck, very tight. And when they leave, all you have is your brand name, and then you become synonymous with just shit. People used to hear Disney and Nintendo and think, oh my god, quality. Now they just think, oh, piece of shit, greedy ass company that nobody likes anymore,
Yep.
that's creatively and morally bankrupt. That's what those are synonymous with now. So you just become another dead company sitting on your throne in a castle that's filled to the brim with your own shit that you cost to pile up so you can wallow in it because nobody else is doing it with you. Even the most loyal fans that are shilling for you right now, I promise you, they're gonna leave you in the end. And this, my friends, is why people pray for the downfalls of companies like this, because when you're making it a habit to target smaller creators and developers and forgetting where you came from, where your roots were, and that you were once in a situation as well that they're in, you're gonna make every single person your enemy. Not a smart move, but they'll learn. And one of the things that we should do, you know what we should do? I agree with Nintendo. Do not stream their games. Do not give them free PR. They don't want it. Don't market for them. Don't advertise for them. Don't stream their stuff. Just do not tell anyone about those games. I don't blame the people if they decide to pirate them. Just pretend that they don't exist and see how they like that. Let's see the little bit of scraps that they're still getting, that they're nickel and diming out of their customers, how that works out for them in the end when these things no longer exist and nobody wants to play these Nintendo games anymore. I wonder how they're going to respond to that.
You gonna learn today.
She's not wrong, for real. This is Nintendo. If you keep this up, you're gonna be like Disney, bankrupt. You wanna make? Oh, let's remake this. Let's do whatever something of the same game, bro. No one's. If you keep on making this so corporate, greedy, you're gonna lose the people and you're gonna lose money. I want them to learn. Look at Disney. They should learn from Disney. But guess what? I bet you they're gonna learn. They're gonna keep on doing this until they're in the ground. Seriously, they're gonna keep doing this until they're 6 feet under. Just with Disney, Disney, I say like 5, close to 6 feet. Nintendo is gonna go like twice that, for real. At this point, they're gonna go even deeper. They're gonna go deeper in the greed. I'm telling you. This is why, yeah, as she said, don't stream the games. Don't do anything with the games. Just like they do. That's like just like movies. If you see a movie, if you see a woke movie, you see a movie that just like fully correct movie, bro, don't watch it. Don't support it. Clown it, basically. And then guess what? If they blame you, it's not our fault that you made the movie. Come on, it's not our fault that you made the movie, and now people don't like it. That's not on us. That's on you. So this is why I want the Sonic Crossroads game to be. I want that game to be amazing. I want that game to just blow Mario Kart out the water. Seriously. But shout out to Alteriori for the fantastic video that she made. The link will be in the description. Follow me on IG, Snap, TikTok, Twitch, Kick. All being said, I'm Jeremiah. God bless you. God loves you. Jesus loves you. Repent. Be saved. Peace.